Okay, picture this. You have to smuggle millions of dollars in gold, but airport security? It's a fortress. You've got metal detectors, high-tech scanners, all designed to spot exactly what you're trying to hide. So what's the plan? Well, you don't hide it, you make it look delicious. Let's get into the absolutely brilliant story of the golden chocolate heist. But no, seriously, just think about that for a second. How would you actually do it? How do you take solid, heavy, unmistakable gold and turn it into something that looks like just a simple, harmless treat? It's a fascinating problem, and the solution they came up with is what makes this story so incredible. And that solution is where our story really kicks off. The plan was so simple, but at the same time so bold, it was almost guaranteed to work. It all came down to creating the perfect disguise: the golden chocolates. Now, the truly genius thing here is the logic. See, the problem with smuggling gold isn't just hiding it. It's that the metal is so dense, any scanner is going to light up like a Christmas tree. So the brilliant move wasn't finding a better place to hide it. It was changing what people thought they were looking at. It was hiding in plain sight. And here's exactly how they pulled it off. A simple 4-step process. First, they melted down the gold, not into big bars, but into small, bite-sized balls. Then, they dipped each little golden ball into a thick coating of liquid chocolate. The finishing touches? A shiny gold foil wrapper and a really expensive-looking box. To any security guard, it just looks like a fancy gift. Absolutely flawless. So, the chocolates are made, the plan is ready. The next phase is all about the execution. And that brings us to the most nerve-wracking part: the actual flight to Dubai, where this whole clever plan would face its biggest test. And this was their master stroke. They used their own jobs as the perfect cover. I mean, think about it. As flight attendants, carrying boxes of chocolates or other gifts is totally normal. Nobody's gonna look twice. They just walked right through security with all that gold, and nobody batted an eye. So just how much gold are we talking about here? How much was inside those innocent-looking chocolate boxes? A mind-blowing $6 million. Just let that sink in. $6 million, disguised as candy, just cruising through an international airport. The stakes could not have been higher. But here's where the story takes a turn you just won't see coming. For pulling off this incredibly risky multi-million-dollar job, what do you think their cut was? $100. That's it. A single $100 bill. It's almost insulting, right? Now, $100 isn't a lot, but for them, hey, it was time to celebrate. So they go to a fancy bar and they splurge on a bottle of expensive champagne. It seems like a small thing, right? Just a little moment of victory. But that one decision was about to have huge consequences they never saw coming. Yeah, because that little celebration, it didn't go unnoticed. In a single moment of carelessness, they caught the attention of the wrong person, and their entire perfect plan was suddenly at risk of falling apart. So as they're heading home, holding this fancy bottle of champagne, they run into another flight attendant, a colleague. And this person knows what they earn. She knows what's affordable and what isn't. And seeing them with a bottle that costs a small fortune, well, that immediately set off all kinds of alarm bells. And this really puts it all into perspective. While they were out buying luxury champagne, their colleague was on a salary where she could barely afford a single pancake. That huge difference, it wasn't just suspicious. It created jealousy. There was just no way they could afford that. And so the very next day, that powerful mix of suspicion and envy just boiled over. The colleague went straight to the authorities and told them everything. And just like that, the perfect heist was on the verge of total collapse. So this brings us to the climax. The authorities know what's happening, and our crew is walking right into a trap. But, every great heist story has to have one last twist. The next time they show up for work, they're stopped. The authorities are there, waiting. They make a beeline right for their bags and pull out those exact same luxury chocolate boxes. They have the evidence. It really looks like the game is up. So, is this it? Is this the end of the line? After all that meticulous planning, was it really undone by one bottle of champagne and a jealous coworker? To make absolutely sure, an officer opens up one of the boxes. He unwraps the gold foil and he takes a bite. This is the moment of truth. He's expecting to crack his tooth on solid gold. Everything is riding on this one bite. And nothing. It's just chocolate. Rich, delicious, but 100% ordinary chocolate. The gold was gone. How? Because they had been tipped off. They knew someone had talked, and they had already swapped the golden chocolates for the real thing. They were always one step ahead.
This story is just a masterclass in quick thinking, isn't it? It really makes you ask, when the walls are closing in and everyone thinks you're trapped, how do you completely turn the tables? It just goes to show you that sometimes the biggest threat to a plan isn't the authorities, but a simple human mistake. But it also proves that the same kind of cleverness that gets you into trouble can be the very thing that gets you out.